Hello, World of Tank Blitzers and future mom rads. I'm Littlefinger. Today, sharing a little more knowledge with you. This time, the SU-76. You can see here in the garage, it is a Tier 3 TD tank destroyer. Let's take a quick look at the characteristics here. You have two options for guns. The 57mm ZIS-2 or 3. I've got it equipped here with the 3. There really wasn't much difference running it, and I will show you some gameplay from both tanks. But anyway, what you'll notice here is very good shot effectiveness and maneuverability, which will definitely stand out when I show you the spreadsheet from other tanks. Anyway, 240 hit points, frontal armor of 25. Does have a speed limit of 48 and a traverse speed of 62, which is really good, best in class by far. Which that allows you to turn and hit targets that might sneak up from behind you or something like that. So anyway, 7 rounds per minute is not bad, and average penetration there 78, 120 on the APCR with an average damage of 160 there. So anyway, let's take a look at how I have this set up. I am running camouflage, as you can see here, just for a little bit of extra concealment on the battlefield. Consumables, we've got repair kit, multi-purpose, and adrenaline. Provisions, I am running all 3. Standard fuel, condensed milk, and protective kit. Ammunition, running here about 14 rounds of APCR, and don't forget you can change that to buying it with credits with that button on the right. Equipment, running a gun rammer for faster load times, running a camouflage net. You will probably be playing a TD more in the back lines. That's not always the case, but you will be stationary, and therefore the camouflage net does give you a good advantage. And then also binocular telescopes, which also you must be stationary for this to activate. But you can see here it adds 60 meters to our view range, so we get that view range up over 300 meters, which is very good. Let me just pull up the tech tree real quick and show you where this line heads. You can see here, starting with the AT-1, SU-76 is the tank that I am talking about today. It's going to take you through the SU-85 to SU-100. As you can see, I haven't really broken down into the lower tier SUs yet. I know those are very maneuverable and also have some very good armor. Going to start trying to get into that line pretty soon, but you can see here I have worked my way into the SU-152 and ISU-152, which come with the BL-10 gun, which is super fun and also super frustrating at times. But to come up against a comet or something and drop 1,200 hit points with an ammo rack shooting HE is awfully fun, and that's part of the grind on this tank, in my opinion. You're going to suffer a little bit with playability here. It's not as fun as some of the other TDs, in my opinion, but well worth it when you get to some of the upper tier TDs that are super fun. All right, let me pull up the spreadsheet real quick and compare it to the other TDs. So here we have the SU-76 highlighted with the 76mm ZIS-3 gun. 240 hit points is slightly below the 250 average. 25 on the hull armor, a little bit below average also. This tank does have a good top speed there at 48 kilometers per hour and an excellent traverse speed at 62 degrees per second. Penetration values are fairly good, just a little bit below average, and your average damage there is going to be about 160. Where this tank stands out is the gun with 7.3 rounds per minute. When you factor that in with 160 on average damage, you get 1,168 damage per minute, which is excellent. The T-82 there at 950 and the Martyr at 869. So quite a bit above those two tanks. And you look at the dispersion there is really good at 0.41, and your aim time at 5.2 is below the average, so that's also good. And of course, great view range. So let's take a look at this tank in action. Alright guys, first game here on Port Bay, bottom tier. You can see I've got the bigger gun, the ZIS-3, has a longer load time. So we're going to push left. And you can see this tank does maneuver quite well. I'm going to go ahead and come up the hill because obviously they did not go around the far corner and they've gone into town. And you can see here, if you rushed your shot, you will miss. I can guarantee you that. You really have to wait. And then you can see here, I got a lucky bounce there, but you can see when I zoom in, you've got those markers on the left and the right. That indicates where the limit of your gun moving left or right. And if you go past that, the whole tank is going to have to move, which actually resets your aim time. So keep aware of that, because obviously the aim time on this tank is fairly long. So we've got some guys that have pushed around hard here. Wasn't even enough time for me to switch over to HE, but certainly on the back of an artillery, you want to use HE. And I knew I had some guys behind me here, so I wanted to push up the hill just in case, and get turned back around there. You can see how quickly the tank turns, and able to get kill number 2 here. And obviously the team's done a very good job. There's only 2 guys left in a very short amount of time, and I guess primarily that was because they just ran straight through the middle of town without any cover. So we're going to move in on the Hetzer here. Full speed. You can see how well the tank turns, and get ready to shoot, and that BT-7 artillery gets the kill here. So A-20's left. You can see how we're pushing forward, and this will introduce you to the frustrations with this tank. You can see here, I don't wait another second to let that aim time go all the way down, and I miss. I mean, I paid the price there. So if you rush a shot, again, you will miss. And so I was hoping that the A-20 would come forward and get into my view, but the artillery blocks him. So I'm going to have to move forward and wait for that aim time again. And of course, I have no idea where that shot went, but obviously it didn't hit the target. So the positives and negatives. Good gun, does a good bit of damage, but you really have to be patient with the aim time. This game is on mines, again with a bigger gun. I'm going to play the whole thing at 2x speed just because this turned out to be a little bit of a long game. Primarily, you can see here we've got 4 tanks going up to the sniping spot. Cruiser definitely does not belong up here. BT artillery obviously should be using his speed a little bit better, but I can't fault him with that gun. So you can see here we're basically just using the guys up front, and obviously they get taken out early to help spot. And you can see I'm basically at the limit of the gun depression on this tank here. And just putting a few shots in, doing about 140 to 150 damage per shot. And we've evened it up 3-on-3 here, or 4-on-4, 3 dead each side. But you can see I'm using my camouflage, using my binoculars, and BT artillery in front of me. Switch over to HE. He manages to get out of the way just in time there. And one of my big things with TDs is you really need to know when the time to push and when the time to camp in the back. I mean, obviously it's okay to camp in the back. That's what your gun is for. But you can't just sit there and wait for the whole team to die and then end up on a 4-on-1 situation, because you're not going to win those in a TD. So we pushed in at the right time, and now we've got one on the run. I'm not of the mindset to keep chasing him. I'll let him come to me. I'll sit in the cap circle. Let the other guys go find him if they want. So he pops up. We'll go ahead and turn around and take a luck shot there. And he eventually does come around and stops long enough for us to get a shot in and kill number 3. So 1100 damage. Obviously sitting in the corner there. And the next game here is on Dead Rail. Obviously a lower tier. And again, I'm going to go find a nice sniping spot. This map has been reworked. Haven't quite explored as much on the left side down in the valley. It seems pretty exposed all the way around. So I'm going to go ahead and move on up to the right. The rest of our team is headed that way. And this is a game in the smaller gun. You can see 4.4 seconds on the reload time there. They've already spotted someone near cap circle, but my main objective is to get into my sniping spot and just try to use this gun and concealment to my advantage. So we've got this nice spot behind the bushes here in case they want to push up around through the valley. I'm just waiting for some more spots, and there we have them. Got a nice little alleyway through the rocks here. And you can see here 85 on damage there, but look how fast this is reloading. So if you're not on the move and you don't have to relocate this gun, I got 4 shots into him and in about 20 seconds there. So it'll pump out the damage as well. It's just you can't play this tank on the move more aggressively with the front line, in my opinion, with this gun. And that's because of, you know, the aim time when you're on the move. You really got to stop and let this aim, or else the shots are fairly erratic. I'm going to go ahead and try to get a little bit more clearance from the water tower there. And you can see just getting some good shots in here. It's quite accurate gun when you're stationary and you've completed your aim. You can see here. But in this game, our lights and mediums are doing a great job. They're keeping them spotted and allowing me to just pump out the damage. So now we're down to 4-on-4. Finish him off, and we've got a 1-tank advantage. Martyr's a 1-shot. M3 Lee's a couple shots. We're now back down to 3-on-3. And I've got one guy pushing on the left side of the cap circle there, just checking my mini map. Other guy is moving forward, so it's time now for me to get off my perch here and go find some tanks to shoot. So off we go here. And one of the things I like to do when moving, and it doesn't necessarily apply to this situation, but drive towards rocks and then at the last minute turn and go around them. That gives you much better concealment and also a place to hide if someone does pop up. Martyr comes around the corner, didn't see me in time, so we finish him off. And the Hetzer had taken out the other guy, and it's just a Cheney left, and gonna move in, and the partner takes him out. So very good game there. 4 kills, and that's even with the small gun doing about 80 damage per shot. We managed to pump out 673 in that game as the bottom tier. Alright, here's another game on mines, this time with the small gun. We are going to go to the traditional sniping spot for TDs, using this bush as concealment, and patiently wait for tanks to crest the hill. We get one shot into that guy, and again, just patiently waiting here. We've got this guy tracked now. M3 light's gonna cross through, and we'll go ahead and finish him off. So that's kind of the nice thing with these, the smaller gun is the much faster reload. Now I didn't stay there because this team had not pushed over the hill, so there was no point just sitting there. And that's what I'm saying about these tank destroyers. Really pay attention to your team and where they are and helping them out. No point sitting out here in the open, so we're gonna move in. So anyway, I saw that we had some guys in trouble. All of their tanks were on the other side of the hill. There's absolutely no point me sitting back there and not doing anything. You've got to get yourself engaged in the battle if you want to snipe from the back. And I have no problem with TDs sitting in the back. It's just know the situation. A lot of times if I'm a light or medium and my job is to spot, I'll also try to draw them back into the line of fire of our TDs. And that's obviously just knowing the game situation. So here, game situation, we've got a guy sitting in cap, 55 seconds. I know, I believe that was that cruiser's coming around. So we're gonna sit here. He's got to come around here. Sure enough, we'll put a shot into him. Cap's still going up, 75. Gonna pay a little bit of a price here. He gets a few shots into us, but we've kind of stopped him from advancing. There's no point now for him. He's gonna die if he moves forward. Meanwhile, Cap is moving forward, and we're gonna win the game easily. He will stick his head out one last time, and we'll finish him off. So know your situation when driving TDs. There's a time to help on the front line, and there's a time to sit in the back and just dish out damage. Okay, so I've shown you 2 games with the big gun and 2 games with the little gun. Not a whole lot of difference really in damage or gameplay, if you ask me. So I can't really make a recommendation over one or the other. A lot of it has to do with how the game unfolds, and obviously you can't predict that ahead of time. So anyway, I'm going to throw this last game in here, more of an example of map awareness and just how to keep yourself alive on the battlefield a lot longer. So you can see the Covenanter has, he's distracted. He's looking over there at the typical sniping spot, and I'm able to get 2 shots into him without him even looking at me. And I'm using this ridgeline because obviously I can get over one side or the other. This is a little bit unfortunate. Hit the wood, and I guess it slows down my shell and it doesn't penetrate. So I could have backed all the way down the hill. I took one shot there. Not always a good idea, obviously, just to trade shots. But now I can see that they're making a strong push over to my right. I can see that DW is about to crest the hill, so I'm going to load APCR, make sure that shot gets in and counts. And now they are pushing hard around that side. So I'm going to back up and go back, try to get back on the other side of this hill if I need to. I switch over to HE on the T82 and get a really low roll there. And I am going to push forward and use these bricks. I mean, he only shoots heat, so he cannot shoot through other objects. And so knowing things like that and your map awareness are key. I see I've got a shot here on the PZ2G, but he manages to get behind the rock just in time. And sometimes you do have to rush a shot, and that's all in-game judgment calls. But now you can see I'm safely back on the other side of this mound and can relocate myself so that I've only my goal is to only ever have one person that could potentially shoot me. Now obviously in this game the team does very well, and you can see here we're up 4-on-2, and the PZ2G is moving to my right, so I'm going to stay a little bit lower on the hill as he goes behind those rocks. I'll crest up a little bit, but now that he's gone around the side, I am moving back down the hill, and you can see there that the teammate took him out. PZ2G is moving forward. I've got a shot on him, and you know, shots like this are going to happen. I expected him to keep on rolling and not stop, and so I missed that shot. Luckily our other SU was really good and he did most of the damage. Instead of rushing the shot here, wait for him to stop and turn and take the shot. So I really just wanted to show you that as more of map awareness and using hills and berms and rocks as defensive items in the game. So you can see here we still did 722 as bottom tier, and just stay safe out there, guys. Have fun on the battlefield. Enjoy the game. Learn what you can. Littlefinger out.